The main thing to do is to seriously treat your mind in the same way that you treat your physical body, in that you consider very carefully what you put into it. So in the same way that you wouldn't necessarily live on junk food, burgers and fries all the time, so putting junk entertainment and junk information and junk news and media into your head has a very sort of deleterious effect. So a couple of things. One is be very careful about the media that you consume. The second thing is that the universe is very much a supporter of this process of unfoldment and of focus that we're talking about. And the universe in its purest sense is a thing that we understand as nature. So if you go out into the natural environment, a place where there are no right angles as such, and you go into the forest or you go into the desert, or you go into the mountains or the woods or whatever, if you go into that environment, your unfoldment begins to occur naturally because the universe supports that in a very interconnected way. And it doesn't require any conscious effort to some degree, but it does require creating that space to receive the signal from the universe. And so it's a very reciprocal effect in a sense. So detach from media, expose yourself to nature, and trust your instinct in what is true and what is real. So don't believe that CNN and BBC and the New York Times and the Washington Post have anything relevant or real to say that actually means anything in your world. Only you can be the arbiter of what is relevant and what is real.
Wow, great way to end things, because again, very well put in a practical sense. Something that people can continue to apply to their daily lives and do it with discipline, but not discipline in the way that we seem to understand it, that it's always about something bad or something difficult, but instead, again, treating yourself really to the ultimate adventure that this, again, beyond the tip of the iceberg existence that we've had to this point is just not even close to what life has to offer. And it's at the end of the day, the exchange, Neil, is very little. The trade-off is very little when you consider what the payoff is.
Absolutely correct, yes.
Neil Kramer, again, neilkramer.com, fantastic stuff. Don't forget, if you're in the Pacific Northwest, or if you're in Vancouver, or anywhere that you could get to, the Neil Kramer's workshop, Walking the Sacred Path, September 30th to October 2nd. Near Hood River, Oregon, again on the west coast of the United States. We're going to definitely have Neil back as much as we can ultimately get him back, and as much as he'll come back, because we could literally do 13 hours straight here in a bunch of different areas, and they'll be as equally as compelling as they were today. Neil, I can't thank you enough for joining us here today on the One Network. Good luck, and we'll catch up with you down the line.
You're welcome, Richard. Thank you for having me.
And that is, of course, again, Neil Kramer, and somebody that I came across over the last couple of years. When you are again looking to avoid a lot of that mainstream media that Neil's talking about, that really pounds you down and does nothing but really the same things that junk food does to your body. When you start to connect with truth, and it's something that, unless it's happened to you, you will not understand. But if it has, you will. It is one of the most incredible feelings you can experience as a human being, and if you're a religious person, it jives exactly well with the truth shall set you free. When you do, and that connects with you in a really compelling way, it's something that you hunger for to continue. And as you start to investigate and find different people that speak to this subject matter in ways that resonate with you, it just is something you can't get enough of. And as I've continued down that path, one of the people who's emerged really at the absolute top of the list for me personally, but I really think he's starting to grow in popularity for a reason, and that is Neil Kramer. He's just somebody that really manages to break down all levels, to be intelligent, but to be relatable at the same time, and again, to be able to inspire, because really that's the key here. It's not to freak people out, it's not to overwhelm people, it's ultimately to give people the necessary knowledge that you need to understand and be aware of what's going on, but also remind you that we ain't seen nothing yet. And the potential in us that we've been suppressed from seeing and understanding for so long, those days are over. And when we get to embark on this journey, this adventure, as Neil says, to experience what we really are, holy smokes, man. You couldn't make a movie with CGI, complex enough to be able to give you what that experience will ultimately be. And I'm just happy and grateful and excited to be able to say that we're in these times that we'll see that side on the other side. After the break, Sean and I will discuss today's show and talk about what we're doing going forward. You are watching the One Network.